Well, okay, let's talk camera features. There's a bunch of camera features.
There's a lot of camera features.
Okay, this is where it gets really googly.
Yeah.
What is a photo? Okay.
Yeah.
First camera feature that I thought was fine was the audio magic eraser.
Yes.
I think this one's fine. This is erasing background noises or reducing like wind or whatever that's not the subject of the video.
It's like audio processing that you're going to do in post anyway.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Green light from me. Okay. Then we already know about Magic Editor, which let you like erase someone from the background. Maybe
Magic
a photo
Eraser.
bomber.
Magic Eraser.
Magic Eraser, sorry.
Yeah.
This is updated Magic Eraser.
Now this is Magic Editor.
Oh, well, okay. There's also
they all-
updated Magic Eraser, but yeah.
What's I guess what's that first?
Updated Magic Eraser is that it now uses generative AI to fill in those areas.
Oh, right.
It used to just use in-painting to fill in those areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that should be better quality. For
Yeah. It is a lot higher quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but
So then there's Magic Editor,
yeah.
which is it analyzes the entire image and lets you move around things, change the size, position, color, texture, weather, sky, change all sorts of things about a photo
Yeah.
and completely change the photo. One version of this is called Best Take.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Best
So Best Take, which is what we were talking about last episode, is basically as we thought. It is a bunch of people in one photo. You take a burst of photos. It looks at all of the photos you took and all the faces and lets you take one base photo with the best face from each of the bursts from every person in the photos.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Green light.
I love it. I'll also clarify one thing from last year that I realized when I was fighting very hard for this. One of the things David said was like, your kids are being demons. That is a scenario where I guess like I don't think it makes as much sense because then your kids are just being all over the place. This is for a scenario where the point of the picture and people in the picture want it to be a nice picture.
Yeah.
And a variable happens. Someone sneezes, blinks, very like minimal things that are being changed. I think the face swap and that is great. And especially because, like you said, burst of photos, you were trying to take a bunch assuming a variable was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to some of the camera engineers at the event today about it. They said this is sort of like an evolution of Top Shot, if you remember that feature.
Right.
Which was like, if you took multiple photos, it would automatically select for you the best ones that you think were good.
Just whichever one it thought was the best.
Yeah. And so this one is like, as long as you take, I asked them like everything about how this works. So as long as you take 2 photos of the same general scene, when you hit edit, it will offer you the option to swap out the face for the face that you took in another shot. And like they told me this at the event, and I agree with them. Almost every single time you like take photos, you take like at least 3 or 4. Even if you hand it to a stranger.
It's just a habit.
Strangers do this too.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting like psychological thing. I don't really know why we do this, but we always do this.
Just to be sure, one more for safety.
Yeah,
Plus,
no one ever takes one photo of you. You always take a few.
Psychos take
Well,
one photo.
that actually, that makes perfect sense. When I'm somewhere and Claire and I are together and we want a picture together, you hand it to someone and you don't know what their photo taking capabilities are. So you always just, as safety, take multiple
you get to
photos.
edit it.
And now I get to actually, like, we were trying to take a nice photo just because the person I handed it to maybe isn't great at taking photos and missed something.
Yeah.
Now I can make it a little nicer
And you can
not
move
have
yourself around in the frame too.
Yeah, you could do the classic Leaning Tower of Pisa thing, totally miss, and fix it.
move
You can do it in your bedroom in the US.
God.
Yeah.
Well, this is okay. So there's a lot of. Did I get every camera feature? I think that's it. You can change like where the person is. You can make yourself look like you're dunking, even though you're not. You can do all kinds of. That was one of the things you saw the ad they ran for
I
it.
missed that.
The ad was like, it went slowly further and further into just lying. Like it was like, oh, not all of your faces were right. Okay, like now all of your faces are smiling.
Yeah.
Oh, not everybody was like enjoying the experience. Okay, well, we put everyone's happy face in, so they're all enjoying. And I think the last one was just like a kid pretending he was dunking, and he just drags himself higher over the rim so it looks like he's dunking. It's like, okay, now we're lying, and then the commercial ends. So you can kind of continue down that path in your own head where you think this feature will go.
Yeah.
I think this conversation is writing half of the script for the review for me, and I'm just going to call it now. The title of the Pixel 8 review is "We'll Fix It in Post."
That's a good title.
Because that is every single one of these camera features. Photo unblur,
Yeah.
Your photo was blurry.
Yeah,
We'll
I
fix it in
actually
post.
I rethreaded this the other day because it was, gosh, I'm trying to remember the social media outlet that did it, but basically they posted that Taylor Swift had taken a selfie with her and a bunch of other celebrities at the game.
Which game?
The football game.
Which one? The Jets game?
Or
the
Jets
at the Chiefs Stadium?
I don't know. I don't follow football. I'm sorry.
I don't follow football either.
Anyway, they had taken this photo together. It was like Heath Ledger. Wait, is he dead?
Yes.
It was Hugh Jackman. It was Hugh Jackman.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's the
I saw
Jets
the
game.
photo.
I'm
also.
sorry, the Jets game. Anyway, point being, it was like it was a selfie that they had taken, and it was like perfectly blurry. Where I was like, this literally looks like one of Google's like
It did.
sample shots
Yeah.
that they would have used to fix with Photo Unblur. So I rethreaded it, and I quote threaded it, and I said, Google's PR team needs to get on this stat
They should.
because they need to rethread that and be like, if Taylor had a pixel, she
They
would
should
have
run it through their own and just
what
like
I'm saying.
reply with the unblurred
Well, a
version.
ton of people replied to my thread with the unblurred
Like,
version,
bringing
and
it
it was
in?
perfect.
That's
it was
awesome.
it was so good.
So that's the classic. That is the entire ethos of Pixel. If you were Samsung or Oppo, you would go, all right, we need a bigger sensor to let in more light to have a faster shutter speed. We need bigger aperture to get more light so that we can freeze the action so that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's always technically correct, but you're still just going to miss sometimes. And with the Pixel, they focus so much on the fix it in post part,
Yeah.
photo unblur. Oh, you had a person behind you in the photo? We'll fix it in post. Remove them. Oh, you weren't high enough in the photo? We'll fix it in post. And the list just goes on. Every single one of these things with the Pixel until it's just the story of the entire Pixel.
Yeah.
Oh, the phone doesn't have a very big battery.
Fix it.
We'll fix it in post. Like we'll just have
AI
really
generate
smart
a new battery.
Exactly. We'll have AI generate a new battery.
Generative fill my battery up.
How sick would that be? But that is the feeling that you get as you look down the stat sheet
Trick
for
the
Pixel.
ions into thinking that they're filled.
You just don't get crazy high-end hardware. You get software optimization and software trickery
Yeah.
to fix it.
Yeah.
Is that good enough for people? We'll find out.
Probably,
Dude,
honestly,
okay.
yes.
So I really want to see stats on this because I swear to God, since the Pixel 7 came out, especially in the last like 6 months or so, I see so many Pixel 7s and Pixel 7 Pros throughout New York. So many of them.
I see them all the time.
And on stage this morning, they said that Pixel 7 was their fastest growing Pixel ever.
For sure.
So
It's also one of the first ones that they really successfully ran commercials for and got in
Yeah.
carrier stores and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I
like
think
doing really well.
Also, the visor is, I think, has helped.
Distinguished.
It's easier for us to see, but I also do think it's easier for people to see other people
Yeah.
using it and being like,
Oh,
"Oh,
that's
what
the
phone
Pixel
is that?"
phone, yeah.
And then I want to look it up.
It's the Google phone. Yeah. They also did that special audio or video, super video. What is it called? I keep forgetting the name.
Oh,
it uploads to the cloud.
Boost. Video
Video
boost.
boost.
Video boost. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a weird one.
Yeah. I talked
Also
to
not
them.
available till later.
Yeah. I talked to them extensively about this too.
Okay.
And effectively what they said is when you take like a 4K 30 video or something, it's taking so much information from like the HDR detail and whatever that it like can't process that. It can't store it all in RAM or something. I'm gonna get a deeper breakdown into how this actually works because
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it is like the reason they said it was only on the Pro is that they said they needed more RAM to be able to shoot it in that mode before it uploaded to the cloud.
Okay.
And they also, the other thing they said, I asked, why are you doing this in the cloud and not on the device? They said that this is specifically CPU intensive and not TPU intensive. So if it was TPU intensive, they could probably do it on device. But because CPU is better at the floating point math that is necessary for this kind of thing, they're doing it in the server centers.
Okay.
But
So it's a combination of more RAM on the Pro enables you to store more info as you're recording. In order to bake it into the file.
because you have to hit the button. What is the name of it again?
Video boost?
Video boost.
You have to decide before you shoot the video?
Yeah.
Oh.
Before you shoot the video, you hit, I want this to be a video boost video.
Interesting.
At least that's what they said today. If I'm wrong, I apologize in
Can you
advance.
default it?
Well, I don't know. That's interesting. So, but yeah, the idea is you have a video that you really, really deeply care about the quality of for
Yeah.
whatever reason. You have video boost turned on, you take the video, it processes for several hours with this information that you've sent up to the cloud. It comes back several hours later, overnight, the next day, whatever. And I saw a before and after test, and the results in Google's test were incredible.
Yeah.
But it was much better HDR, much better stabilization, much
lower
less
noise.
much less noise. It was brighter and more evenly lit. It was just a better colored, better looking video in general. And I kind of wonder, number one, is anybody going to use this? But number two, how good is it actually going to be for random stuff that I try?
You know why this is like the perfect way to distinguish like Apple versus Google? Is Apple is like ProRes, log, on device. We're just giving you all the features that a regular camera has at like a really high bit rate, everything.
Google's like, we'll fix it in post.
Servers.
We'll fix it in
Google's
post,
always
baby.
like, the cloud. Send it to the cloud.
It'll come back a few hours later.
Yeah. So it's weird. It uploads to the cloud, and then a few hours later, it just shows up in your Google Photos.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So I'm really wondering like when people are going to want to use this. I asked why it was Pixel 8 Pro exclusive, and they said only pros really want to use this feature. I don't really know what that means. They also said they needed the RAM.
The RAM, yeah.
But I would love to see you shoot an autofocus video all with Video Boost.
Yeah, that'd be fascinating.
And just see how it looks.
It could be amazing.
The time it takes to process is probably the same time it takes to offload ProRes footage onto your computers.
That's true. Well, the new iPhone the USB iPhone actually makes a meaningful difference. But yeah, I am very fascinated. I'm going to try this for sure.
Yeah.
I'll also have to see if audio gets better with Video Boost. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, being able to do it, they had a bunch of samples, and they made the stabilization look like it was better too.
Yeah,
At least in the samples they showed.
So the one example that I thought was really good that they showed me, and I don't know if anyone else has seen this demo, but it was a nighttime video. Like imagine being on the streets of New York City, and you're in the street and it's really dark, and you point it in like a storefront. So it's really bright in the storefront. There are bright lights in there. It's a very HDR type of scene.
Yeah.
When you do a video like that on a lot of smartphones, you get this like HDR processing bleed from point lights, where you point it at the inside of the store, and it's just like overly saturated with light until it fixes itself and exposes for the store, and then the outside is darker. The improved version of this with Video Boost was like perfectly well exposed the entire time. So it's clearly doing a lot of HDR math with different exposures and like mapping them on top of each other, and that's obviously very intensive. But I just, there's going to be, I don't know. I'm drawing the conclusion in my head that there's a limited number of special situations where this will make a big difference. And then probably a regular video of like me and you in the studio on your phone will not look that much better after Video Boost.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. But I'll have to see what actually happens.
Yeah,
when I try it.
I talked to Isaac Reynolds, who he used to work with Mark Lavoie, who's the guy that invented HDR Plus, who's also the guy that invented Night Sight. And he's the one who like led this feature, and I asked him to like break it down for me, and he said a lot of words that I don't understand. So I was like, I'm gonna follow up with you an email because I really want to know what the heck is happening here.
That's a great idea.
But it seemed very impressive.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna talk to him more about it.
We shall see.
It is an interesting feature. So anyway, I'm gonna put how to get people to like and subscribe into Google Fibonacci.
Oh.
I don't even think. Oh, into Google Fibonacci.
Duh.
Okay, so the output says like and subscribe.
Oh. You can only like if you subscribe.
Is that actually isn't that the Fibonacci sequence they just discovered? The one where
it's Fibonacci 2.
Yeah, it goes 1, 3, like, subscribe, 10.
Yes, comment.
42,
40.
comment.
Yeah.
Tweet.
Andrew, you know the song. David, sing it with me. 1, 3, like, subscribe, 10, 42, comment.
That sounds like a hymn at a church.